We're here at Richfield Heritage Preserve, and we're in one of the areas where there are plenty of late summer wildflowers, but I had us focused in on the swamp milkweed. It is in the same family as our regular milkweed, but as the swamp indicates, it likes to have its feet wet. Milkweed has quite a bit of pollen in it, and it has ways to specially attract bees, wasps, and other insects to help pollinate it. Obviously, there's a reason why there's so many insects that are attracted to it. As you can see, we've got some yellow jackets, some honeybees, some bumblebees that are attracted to this. There was a ladybug that was just here, some green bottle beetles. So this one type of flower is a attractant to all these different kinds of insects. I was especially amazed by the wasps that were attracted to it. They were long cicada killer wasps, but in Ohio we have many different kinds of bees and wasps, and there's a whole book devoted to it. So you could see that we have all these different kinds of bees and wasps, and they're very important in pollination of flowers. The milkweed, we could even see over here, there is milkweed beetles. What's missing from this picture are the monarch butterflies. The monarch butterfly, they lay an egg, and that egg hatches into a caterpillar. And the caterpillar will feed on the leaves of the milkweed. And eventually it'll go through its stages where it turns into a beautiful butterfly. And then the monarchs in the fall migrate down to Mexico. This plant is called milkweed because of, I will, for demonstration purposes, pick a leaf. It has a milky sap to it, and that milky sap is toxic. And the monarch butterfly caterpillar is the only thing that we know of that can eat this leaf because of that toxic milk sap in it. So they're the milkweed's the only milkweed caterpillar is the only thing that we know of that can eat the leaves. I've even seen that they've done studies where they've had birds try and eat the blue jay caterpillars, eat the monarch caterpillars, and they spit them out because the caterpillars have a bad taste also. So that's a deterrent for the monarch caterpillar, that nothing will eat them because they also have that bitter taste to them. Now, we also have right next to it is the white flower. They're growing all around this one plant of swamp milkweed. This is called Dogbane, and it also has a milky sap to it, but they're no relation to the milkweed. The flowers produce seeds. If you remember our springtime chats, the flowers produce seeds. So these Dogbane flowers produce pods. The milkweed also produces pods, and many of you might know of the more familiar, the larger flowered milkweed that has big pods, and when they're ripe and dry and you open them up, the seeds fly on parachutes through the air, and that's how they get dispersed. But back to the Dogbane, they also have pods, and these pods have the feathery seeds to them also, or the parachutes that will help, the wind will help disperse them through the air so that they could spread out and they could spread their roots and grow to different places. This is a wonderful example of our fall wildflowers. We have some bone set that's here, and I wanted to show you this. Mostly what we have growing in here is goldenrod, and the goldenrod is just about getting ready to bloom. A lot of people confuse the goldenrod with ragweed, and they're two different plants, and the goldenrod doesn't give you hay fever or cause problems like that. The goldenrod's very beautiful. So we'll try and revisit this in a couple weeks to see the fall splendor of the goldenrods. I also wanted to show you on the goldenrod, speaking of wasps and those hundreds of wasps that we have, a wasp created this. This is called a gall, a G-A-L-L. And it would be a goldenrod wasp that what it does is it lays its egg in the stem of the goldenrod. And that's where it laid the egg. And it causes, there's a chemical that causes the stem to grow around that egg. And inside there develops a little larva to the wasp. And it grows awkward and around like that, a little goldenrod ball like that. It's just to protect the larva inside. And then later on when the larva develops, it'll crawl out of that gall and it'll fly away and it'll become an adult. But it doesn't do anything to the goldenrod. They live symbiotically, they live together. And we see in this field there's quite a few of them. So there's no harm to the plant, and the goldenrod wasp needs the goldenrods in order to survive. There were a couple other, there's some more of our bone set. As this blossoms, that'll also attract a lot of insects. A lot of insects are attracted to these flowers, so they're very important to keep these wildflowers and not to mow these fields. All right, you could just imagine the goldenrod, the gold color that will be throughout here. Also, we have some ironweed, the purple ironweed that'll be blooming. And I wanted to point out our ever familiar Queen Anne's lace. We have it growing all over in the wood's edge. Oh look, I got a friend. There we go. Not sure what it is. A leaf hopper. Okay. Might be a milkweed bug. Not sure. Queen Anne's lace, but don't confuse it with the herb of yarrow. Many people have the yarrow growing in their yards. Some of them are different colored yarrow. They have yarrow has a very feathery leaf on it. We see it growing wild, whereas the Queen Anne's lace doesn't have those feathery leaves on it. And these umbels are, this umbel is a conglomerate, it's a bunch of flowers. All of these are little tiny flowers. And those flowers eventually will turn to seeds. So there you have a little snippet of our late summer wildflowers here in Richfield Heritage Preserve. Thanks for coming out and listening today.